Hey, what's going on, Sarasota? My name is Brad Hannon, and today we've got two awesome guests. We've got Dillon Auxier and Brandon Day from Plato Industries. This is the pre-show, tailored by Tweeds. Hey, listen, if you're looking to step up your style game, check out any of the dozen or so Tweeds locations. They're all over the place and also online, so go check out Tweeds. I want to jump right into what these guys are doing with Plato. It's pretty exciting stuff. You know, your website reads, turn your problems into profitable products. Tell us more about what Plato does.
Yeah, we really partner with entrepreneurs and founders and help them kind of build and productize operations in their business and turn it into software for them.
Wow, love it. Simple, sounds super simple.
Yeah,
I'm sure Brandon's got other stuff to say, but you know, with that, you said entrepreneurs, right? So that's one kind of category, I guess. But are there specific types of clients you're looking for, or that are, you know, seeking after you?
Yeah, so to kind of extend what Dillon said, we've got essentially two sides of Plato Industries. The first is what Dillon mentioned, sort of AI software for small to medium-sized businesses with various characteristics, right? They need to be sort of regional players. They need to have a sort of what we call hair on fire operational problem that you can...
Hair on fire.
Hair on fire. Something that is...
Is that what happened to my hair?
Something that's inefficient and high leverage, and they want solved, right? So that's sort of one side of the house. It's really AI for small and medium-sized businesses. We solve that problem for them, and then we SaaSify that, right? So software as a service, we both solve it for them, and then kind of go to market and sell it to peer firms, basically.
I love it.
That's one side of the house. The other side of the house is basically the same playbook, but a different customer, and that's private equity. So specifically lower middle market private equity funds that have portfolios of manufacturing and industrial companies, right? So $5 billion or less of assets under management, typically in the Midwest, you know, Wisconsin.
Industrials.
Yeah, kind of the Rust Belt kind of area.
Yeah. Awesome. You can tell Brandon does the technical stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
This guy's going right into it. I love it. And obviously, I know a lot about Plato. I've been working with you guys, so full disclosure, firsthand experience. It's been awesome. But can you share with the audience, you know, I've heard a few, but can you share with the audience maybe one of your, you know, success stories as a company?
Yeah, so we're actually implementing a really interesting agentic AI system for a really large transactional law firm that's local here. And so really with them, you kind of dive in and you kind of see a lot of these manual processes that kind of happen that take a lot of human time. This is where kind of AI really comes in and kind of is going to take it to the next level. In a couple of years now, it's going to change kind of everything. So what we looked at is, you know, hey, there's a large amount of time that's spent kind of opening matters. And so a contract comes in, a lot of data in it. A human has to take that all apart and then actually just open it into their ERP. Do all sorts of things like checks, lien checks, title searches, conflict checks. And so we've actually built an AI system that kind of orchestrates all of those pieces together and actually runs it all the way through and ultimately streamlines it, takes it down from 30, 40 minutes all the way down to a couple minutes.
Sounds so simple. I'm surprised that more people weren't already doing that, but eliminating mouse clicks and keyboard typing, it sounds like, is kind of what you're doing there.
Well, they are. It's just in a way where, you know, a lot of VC right now is chasing the big generalized solutions, right? So where we kind of zone in and where we really find our niche is in literally much more of the niche type of businesses. So this is specifically a transactional law firm. So there's a lot of mechanics that kind of happen in here. That's not just a traditional generalized legal solution. And that's kind of what we get really excited about. So like he alluded to, the $10 to $100 million business owner who's not technical but wants to have some sort of a technical component or a technical revenue stream, we kind of come in, build around their process, and then ultimately productize it.
I love it. I'm all too familiar, but that's going to do it for the pre-show, guys. As always, if you want to step up your style game, like I said before, check out Tweeds at any of their dozen or so locations. I mean, I'm pretty sure they have about 10 locations at this point, so killing it. Go check them out, and we'll see you on the other side.
So I mean, you have OpenAI, the really probably one of the most important companies of this generation. You know, really kind of doing foundational LLM.
A nonprofit, technically, right?
Sure.
So far,
we're about to see how this shakes out, right? Yeah, that Microsoft owns 49% of. And so, so they're huge dollars. Obviously, they're raising tons of money. They're spending a lot of money on compute, all this stuff, and it just kind of keeps the investment dollars kind of keep going bigger and bigger and bigger. Meanwhile, you had a small quantitative hedge fund in China that actually built their own model called, and this is DeepSeek. And really it cut its teeth on kind of algorithmic trading, currency stuff. And ultimately they were able to, they kind of both had the same breakthrough of what's called reasoning at the same time. And so you had OpenAI, who kind of had this major breakthrough with O1, and it was kind of deep reasoning. So this is like, I can actually take multiple steps and think through problems, not just like, hey, what's the answer to this? Oh, here you go. Now it's like I can actually plan, take action, take steps. And this was kind of a big moment for the entire industry. And this is kind of something that led to some of the stuff that we're actually able to build right now, is because of this kind of paradigm shift. And DeepSeek, very almost in lockstep, comes out with their own version of this and does their final training run for like $6 million, which was just unheard of. And so they did this with a mixture of experts, type of like, it's a type of style, and it's been, papers on this have been written, but they kind of did this really interesting blend of it. And so it kind of came to the point where someone's like, man, if you're able to get this type of performance out of those dollars, like what is happening over here? And the market obviously viscerally reacted to that. And that's what you saw kind of the shakeout kind of happen there. I mean, in the meantime, it's like we win as consumers. That's kind of what ultimately happens here, because you have two very competitive things. Now, you have a very serious competitor in China, and ultimately AI will be the control layer of a lot of what we interface with in society. And so, it is very important that we, it's either going to be American made or Chinese made, right? In terms of all across the board on what we're going to be in the next, 5 to 10 years here. So that's why that's why you hear this narrative of like, oh, we have to win. But China's going to do their thing. They're going to they're very brilliant entrepreneurs over there that are doing like really impressive stuff. So it's like we're not going to be able to quell them. We're not going to be able to stop them. It's just more so like we have to kind of run our race over here and keep building. Ultimately, like we'll see how it shakes out. But that was kind of the whole market reaction to kind of what
the analogy that I hear often is the internet, right? And the internet was something that's an American innovation that has become a part of our everyday lives all over the world. And that's people are comparing, saying AI is bigger than that, actually.
I used to say electricity, and now I've kind of shifted into saying the microprocessor.
Wow.
So the microprocessor fundamentally changed how computers work. That's kind of what, like, we've fundamentally changed how computers work. Non-deterministic, I can make decisions, I can do things, and you're kind of seeing this where, the founder or CEO of Claude, Dario, is predicting that, PhD level across the board in the next, 2 years here, 2 or 3 years. And so you're going to see something where, it's just gonna be insane. And it's like this level of our kids are gonna grow up with these things that
Absolutely.
are just brilliant tutors, brilliant people that you can ask any question to that help guide you and do this stuff. Like, I think you're gonna fundamentally see just changes across the board here.
I love the internet example though, because that's something that people can all relate to.
Yeah.
Like you ask an average small
Microchip.
Okay, you ask an average small business owner, what do they want to be early on? Did you want to be involved in the internet really early, or what does a microchip have to do with plumbing? Mm-hmm. They don't know, right? Yeah. But they know if they had the website early, Sarasota'sBestPlumber.com, that would make them some money, right?
Totally.
So,
Absolutely.
Break it down for the average small business owner how this stuff is so important. They need to be paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I'll let Brandon kind of go on for a second here because I've talked too much.
So it's basically AI is good for the small business owner because of how it changes the economics of the owner who owns the capability of value creation, right? Technology is always centralized or consolidated authority and power sort of up the food chain, right? This is why capital owners, in the late 19th century with like Oliver Twist kind of style, there were riots in the streets all the time because the capital owners they owned everything and they could exploit the workforce, right? And play this out now, you're an owner, the owners enjoy the sort of fruit, right? But you have limitations on your skill set, right? You need a technology partner.
Easy.
Yeah, you can.
I'm looking for them.
Crush us in an arm wrestling contest, but you still need to partner with somebody to build this kind of stuff, right?